Good evening, tadpoles, anime fans. Katakawa, White Fox, all those guys recently just put out season three of ReZero. Don't know how you say that in real life. We're all familiar with ReZero, with the pink and the blue girl, with the white-haired lady, and you were about to see some new creatures. Well, of course, we all know. I think her name's the forehead little girl. You remember her, the big forehead. Um, but you were about to get some new creatures to gawk at. Unfortunately, the powers that be over at Katakawa White Fox, I don't know who made this decision, but compared to official art for these characters, we decided to give them some of these mostly um, unclothed, I guess we'll say, uh, looking characters. Decided to cover them up with spats, with the cope of centuries. We all know the guys who are like, oh, the spats look better. We all know, guys. The spats, uh, that shit sucks. Um, and they're hoping that we put up with it. Of course, we did not pay for this, but don't even spread word. Don't. I don't want to see anyone with this shit in their likes. You got to be principled about it. And I will not be talking about ReZero Season 3. Will not be talking. People are like, oh, I don't even remember her name, the white haired girl. But apparently they gave her bigger, things. But that's like the marketing team coming out saying, "Oh, guys, it's not so bad. Look what we did." Now we all know the deal. All right, you can see the difference, plain as day. Go look it up. I'm not giving them my money. And anyways, to fill up more time again, and we got another story here for you. This one's called Fear Heaves. It's one of my favorites. Um, and this one, wasn't actually written. This one and the last one I did, which I'm probably going to post these out of order. So the one that I've credited is who I said it was. These other two that I'm reading um, that are uncredited. It's a person who doesn't work on this channel, but they could if they want to. Um, but anyways, Miguel ran while motioning for any alert elevator inhabitant. Miguel ran while motioning for any alert elevator inhabitant to hold the door for him. His wife, Julia, is sensitive about things pertaining to time and behavior. Miguel felt the disgustingly warm breathing of the masses behind him. He wanted to get off the elevator as soon as possible. Miguel was met with papers, which made him restless. He looked at professionals in the office and felt hatred. They called upon him. They forced him to wear a mask to keep illness from spreading. Julia and the other patients were kept in an isolation room. Her illness was not a guaranteed fatality, but Miguel gathered through a rough explanation of the illness from the news and magazines. The illness had something to do with the adrenal glands, and it is said to startle a person afflicted with the illness it is said that to startle a person afflicted with the illness. Let me start this over. I fucked up that whole line. The illness had something to do with the adrenal glands, and it is said that to startle a person afflicted with the illness is to incite death. He told himself not to upset Julia, just in case she would get worked up. He was startled by the strangeness of the room. The patients were packed in like sardines next to each other. Whenever human beings are forced into situations where they must invade each other's privacy, associations between man and farm animals form. Miguel walked over to Julia and began to comb over her hair with his hand. Hey, Miguel, you're not late this time. No, I was considerate. That fucking sucked at reading that. Miguel turned his head to the right, observing a row of televisions intended for the patients. Every television played Bob Ross. Miguel looked concerned and curious and motioned toward the televisions with his hands. It's to protect us from fear. It's very okay. Sorry. Fuck. All right. Miguel. So every TV's playing Bob Ross. Miguel looked concerned and curious and motioned toward the televisions with his hand. It's to protect us from fear. It's very soothing. Julia rubbed Miguel's hand. I'm so glad to see you. I wish I wasn't so sick. I'm horny. Make sure you don't get worked up. Miguel could make out an outburst of contempt from the bed right beside him. A portly man holding a book looked him in the eye, peering above his bifocals. Miguel never backed down from confrontation. What the hell was that? The sound of disgust. I don't want to hear about your relations, and I don't want to initiate a heaving spell. Do you? It could be potentially fatal for those afflicted. Miguel reined himself in. No, certainly not. I meant no offense. None taken. I forgive you. My name's Kearns. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. My name is Miguel Nice to meet you. My name is Miguel Vasquez. And this is my wife, Julia Vasquez. I know your wife. We talk. What? Me and your wife have very charming discussions. Miguel looked at Julia. She shrugged. Interesting way to put it. You sure have different mannerisms than most people. I'm Kearns. Kearns shrugged. Miguel's eyes were wide open as he shook his head up and down in illusory report. Kearns who, if I may ask? You may not. And so this summed up their discussion with Kearns, who was intent on reading. Around 30 minutes later, Miguel was glad to dismiss himself. The hospital gave him chills. Miguel gave his goodbye to Julia, yet while he was heading toward the door, he stopped suddenly and turned around. He peeled the mask quickly from his face and gave Julia a goodbye kiss. She smiled and waved goodbye. Miguel was now officially on his way out, now with the feeling of closure, until this feeling was interrupted by Kearns. Bad move, bud. I know. See you soon, bud. If you have children, don't touch them. Miguel exited the room, annoyed at the direct Kearns. Miguel knew many a man like Kearns, a stickler for every unwritten rule in the book except those intimate ones formed spontaneously by emotional connection to human beings. A robot programmed out of selfishness, not servitude. The rest of the day went on like a nightmare, and after having a real nightmare, he woke up to a nightmare. Miguel was in the hospital, as far away from Julia as the staff could manage. He motioned toward a nurse while rubbing his eyes with one hand. Excuse me, ma'am, but I have a favor to ask. Would you ask the man called Kearns if he would be willing to swap beds with me? I'm sorry, that's not possible. Miguel noticed movement from across the room. It was Kearns. He was wagging his tongue and flashing his eyes. Miguel allowed himself a moment of silence. He was furious, but once his heart started pumping unusually hard and his whole head began to throb, he forced himself to focus on Bob Ross. Calm down, Miguel. Calm down, Miguel. Calm down, Miguel. Miguel had a mantra taught to him by a psychiatrist, Bob Glass. It didn't work. He decided in the moment to stop seeing Bob, who wasn't worth the hefty price. Miguel knew that he could absolutely not get angry under his current condition. Besides, this Kearns guy, he's forced to use his hand. He looks like a... Besides, this Kearns guy, he's forced to use his hand. He looks like a 50-something-year-old dude, but I bet he's still a virgin. Fucking prick. No, calm down. But of course, you know this Kearns guy. This guy works at a grocery store, huh? Kearns is talking to my wife? Damn. Well, I'll just have to listen. He was chagrined to hear chuckles from Julia and Kearns. He was chagrined to hear chuckles from Julia in Kearns' direction. You know, I just got done heaving, Jules, but I'm still hungry. I emptied myself out, so I'm ready. It's partly because I've got first-class hospital attendance, which allows me benefits such as exclusive caviar, Cabernet Sauvignon. You name it, Jules. Oh, wow. Here's a little deal. You tell me about it, and I'll tell you what. I'll get you your own dish of caviar. You ever try it? No, I haven't. You're so kind, Kearns. Miguel felt the pressure well up in his head. Caviar? This asshole's rich! Miguel felt like a clock hand, spinning wildly out of control. He couldn't control his anger. He was almost as mad as that time he gave Julia the backhand. He regretted that bit of violence, but he would still kill Kearns. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Calm down, Miguel. Calm down, Miguel. Calm down, Miguel. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Then suddenly, from that's edited fucked up. Suddenly, Miguel erupted volcanic vomit. Oh, then suddenly, from Miguel erupted volcanic vomit. His bed sheets were anointed in corroded Vienna sausage and bourbon. His two best friends for depression. Two annoyed nurses in hazmat suits pulled curtains around Miguel and changed his clothes and sheets. As Miguel was naked and vulnerable and surrounded by cold and calculating nurses, he could hear those distinctive chuckles. He almost cried. It was one of those flashback sobs, the ones that take you back to your childhood. But Miguel stopped himself. I can't let that prick know he's dominated me. I can't let him know he's won. Miguel decided to simply sleep off this terrible curse, this terrible day, and this terrible sickness. Unfortunately for him, his sleep was serrated. The nurses kept these nagging blue lights on. It was as if they expected patients to be so ill they wouldn't care. Miguel found himself awake at some point, and looking around the room, he found every patient to be asleep. He eyed Julia's beautiful sickness-stricken face. He allowed for his eyes to skirt the room somewhat, but they fell to rest on a horrible sight. Blood on the apron. Nurses rushed into the room, so he squinted his eyes and pretended to be asleep so they wouldn't tell him to go to bed. The nurses made sure everyone was sleeping. Then they began to talk. The head doctor was present. It would seem he spoke. Patient 66, dead by stomach lining tear. We should keep the amount of water for the patients. It's no use. The sickness is too severe. You know what purpose they serve now. Yes, but... No buts. The citizens of the city don't know that the ground pork shipments are too expensive to ship across the expansive desert. And they are not to know. It would start a rebellion. I'm getting paid for this. The Thelemites need the meat. Alright, I'm turning the page, guys. Jesus fuck. The lead doctor picked up the corpse with seemingly superhuman strength. What gave him such physical power? He stuck the back of the corpse onto a meat hook and closed the curtain. He was about to wheel the cadaver away until Miguel wailed out. Awaken, everyone! This hospital is hell! Hell! Miguel ran and tackled the doctor, but the doctor simply grabbed onto him and pounded him on the back with his fist. Miguel instantly let out a long and painful dry heave. The giant and strong doctor pounded away until Miguel heaved himself to death. All the patients were awake now, spewing volcanic vomit and dry heaving. Acidic caviar remains were on Julia and Kern's aprons. Acidic caviar remains were on Julia and Kern's aprons. The doctor started to panic as the patients in the waiting room came to see what all the commotion was about. The doctor was shot by a Second Amendment advocate. All the commotion caused the patients to enter into severe dry heaving spells. Kearns was the only patient who remained alive. He was back to full health. He explained what had happened to the news camera. He put gel in his hair before appearing in front of the camera. How does it feel to be the only man who survived? My condolences to the deceased patients at the hospital, but I'm feeling fine. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. God damn. I haven't read some of these. I cannot fucking believe that this fucking whole book is full of that crap. Alright. Fuck Sweet Baby. This one's not about Sweet Baby. This is about, ReZero Season 3, but, fuck Katakawa. And, fuck Japan. They're fucking sellouts. All hope is, I mean, it's not lost, but I'm not trying to blackpill. So, have some hope. It'll be okay. hopefully they get back on track. But that ship has sailed. I'd be looking for interesting stuff in other parts of the world. Um, that's kind of tainted. They're all playing Undertale now. It's over. It's not over, but it's the days of getting. I mean, they'll probably still have some cool stuff left for us. All right, you guys have a great day. All right, bye.